Okay, so for this search example, again, this is another possibility that you might be going with. This is one example. I chose women dealing with one of our authors. I'm going to use in this one. You could use Hawthorne. You can see where that would go. I actually did do a search a while back on Hawthorne and women on this database. This is EBSCO. And I really just want to show you how the different databases work. Some of them are more in depth. Some of them will return just a few things. It just depends on what topic you're using and how you're combining things. So I'm going to be doing advanced searching because you're going to need to be able to put more than one concept together. So I wanted to show you how the different ones work. And again, you are allowed to email me if you need help with your thesis. I'm not going to help you write your thesis, obviously, but you have put together your thesis or your working thesis, and you want to know, can I find some things to support my ideas? Because remember that it is about your ideas, and the research is just to support you and your ideas. So you can, if you're having trouble getting some articles based on your thesis and how you put keywords together, you can always reach out to me. But I'm going to try to give you an example of how you could do that. So for right now, we're going to pretend that we've chosen a topic having to do with one of our authors and women. They can be, we just want to know, do I want to talk about the characters that are women? Do I want to talk about, what this author may have written about women or about something about his life? Not quite sure yet. Okay, so we're just going to start a search. So in this one, I'm going to use Poe. And yeah, this is what's nice about EBSCO. It brings up the name just as soon as we start typing something that's familiar. It's got its smart searching. And the second line, I'm just going to put women for now. It's kind of broad, okay? And I'll leave that there and just run a simple search. Okay, so we got 30 results. All right, and we could narrow this down to literary criticism. There are reviews, but there's only 2. There's only a total of 30 right now. So already we can see that between the years 1934 and 2018, this particular pairing of these concepts, the author Edgar Allan Poe and very broad term women, it returns only 30. So we are in the database actually called Literary Reference Center. So what I should have done was to start at the very beginning. So I'm going to redo this. So we're just going to go back. Okay. Okay. So how you get there, when we go to EBSCO, go back to the very beginning because I kind of cut you off there. I started you kind of late. So I'm going to just start all over. How about that? Okay. And it's Leola, and got this here. It's okay. We're going to scroll down. We're going to go to Literary Reference Center right here. So this is one of the many little databases inside the suite called EBSCO. So we're going to go here. So already we're narrowing it down to literature. We want to search for things that are talking about literature because this is a big database that also has magazines. You've seen that before as freshmen. this is literature. So we're going to go to advanced search, meaning it's going to search for articles that are written by people who are experts in the field of literature. They're literary critics, most of them, or they're professors, and they're coming from literary books, literary reference books, I should say. Okay, so Poe, Ellen, we'll do this again. So we're not going to limit it any more than this. We're going to leave it alone. We're going to search it. And it will get the same thing that we had before, 30. Yeah, there you are. Okay. So we just kind of look around what we have. We have several things. So Lenore, probably remember her. Okay. So this one is a summary about Lenore. So that's okay if you want to get a reminder, a background, but if you were going to do this, you'd likely already read that poem and you're like, well, I'm not sure if I want to write about her. We're just looking around, trying to get ideas and talking about gender with a certain author. For instance, you could have chosen Hawthorne and looked for items. In fact, I did do a search on Hawthorne. I replaced, let's say we have Hawthorne in here under where we have Edgar Allan Poe. We just change that out. We're going to get the same number or maybe a little bit more results in the EBSCO here in the literary reference of EBSCO. But a lot of those are going to be about the Scarlet Letter. And I'm not quite sure if Mr. Robles had you read that novel. I doubt it. You probably read maybe a few of Hawthorne's stories. So most of the articles that came up here were about Scarlet Letter, and I really didn't want to go that route. So that's why I chose Edgar Allan Poe. And just to get a more broad selection. Okay, so critical readings of Poe's revision. Okay, an essay on the revision of American writer Edgar Allan Poe in the recovery of his second story. Author proposes a brief scrutiny of individual works. Okay, that sounds interesting. Let's look at that. Okay, women in literature, crimes against women, American authors. This sounds like it might be good. These are the subject terms. And here, this right here is an abstract. That's a summary of what the article is about. Okay. So, in order to get the actual article, we'll go download this PDF. We'll open that up. Okay. That looks pretty promising. So what I would do is, because you want to go look at that list again, and you don't really have time to read any of this, but it sounded good based on the bibliographic information that we had there, the citation that we landed on. So you can go here and you can save it. Okay. You can send it to your computer or you can save a bunch of these. So I'm going to cancel this and you can create a folder. Okay. And I don't happen to have a folder yet, so I'm not going to use that for right now. But there are many things that this database will allow you to do. The simplest thing, I think, is to either email it to yourself or go to your drive. You can just download it in your Google Drive. Okay? All right, so that sounds good. We'll go back to that list, result list. So we want to look at that again. I don't want to make this too long. Okay, the poetess, that sounds good. I would send that to my drive as well and look at it later when you have time to actually read them. You're looking at the titles and you're taking a little bit of a look at this, the summary. Okay, you can go through. This one sounds good. It's mentioning Annabel Lee. Okay? So you could go on to the next page. I'm not going to take that kind of time right now. I do want to show you a little bit of a similar search on JSTOR. So we're going to go there now. And I am logged in. Remember that if you leave, you walk away, or you haven't done anything with JSTOR after you logged in, it may log you out. Okay, all of them could do that to you. All the databases might do that, but JSTOR is notorious for it. So, and it won't tell you that you're now logged out. Okay. Um, if it does, if it looks like you're only getting one or two results and you know you should expect more, then check to see if you're still logged in. Okay. So we went to advanced search. And I'm just going to try the same search to see what I get. We're likely going to get hundreds, if not 1,000 or two more. Okay. Don't want to search yet. I need to, because this is a giant database of scholarly academic journals, literary criticism, and everything. And it's also of several subjects. You can have medical articles here, any other science. So we're going to scroll down this list. This is journal filter. This is the type of journal, the type of academic journal that it is. So we're going to go down and we're going to look for something about literature. And it's going to be language literature. We can click on that. And now we'll go back up and hit the search button. Yeah, we got almost 2,000 articles. Okay, so now this is an index. We don't really want that. Okay, that's just going to be a list of articles out there. We really want criticism. So this is one. This is from the Edgar Allan Poe Review. That's criticism. Okay. Social media, friend or foe. No, that's a little too modern for me, but you guys might find it interesting. Poe's image on film, and he has poetry and love in there. Does not have the word women coming up here. This one does. Okay, pathologically. Okay, let's just try that. Actually, no, I clicked on the wrong one. We want this. Let's try it. Okay. Very vices that made his personality so fascinating. Okay, so this looks like it might be talking about Poe and his work. Yeah, that could be of interest. We're thinking of his connection with gender, women, as a writer, possibly in his life. It's a pathology. Okay. All right, so again, you could keep this. You could simply go back to the results list, come back to it later if you want. Again, I'm looking for women in the topics or in the title. Social generations. Okay. All right, as you can see, it's not as specific as the EBSCO search was, so we'll probably have to change things up. Okay, so we want to modify the search. I'm just going to put poems or poetry. We'll see if that'll change it. Yeah. Um, yep, I'm not seeing a whole lot that comes right up. Okay, so we're likely going to have to change. I think what we're going to have to do is get more specific. And what I would do at this point, I would delete that. It's way too broad. Poetry is broad, women is broad. Okay, so we're going to choose one of his stories or his poems. Let's try Lenore. So this is really about showing you how to bring together concepts and do a search. Okay. Here we go. Lost Lenore House. This might be background info on his life. We're not sure. It could be useful. Okay, so that's the point is not to go into too much of these articles for right now. I just really wanted to show you what decisions you have to make when you run a search. So I'm going to stop the video for now, and again, you can reach out to me if you're having trouble putting things together. Okay, bye bye.